Hello everyone, and welcome to Linda For You. I'm going to bring you a short video today on my Ctenanthe Lubbersiana. She's up there in the corner. See if I can get a close-up of her here. And I am going to propagate her today. But I wanted you to see where she lives normally. As you can see, she's with my other Ctenanthe Lubbersiana family. And I want to show you the lighting here. I've got a desk lamp type light that my husband made a way to attach to my plant stand. And it allows me to move it around, which is really a necessity here because I have a lot of plants, and as much lighting as I do have, it's not, I can't keep one light on one little group of plants every day. I have to move it around and kind of share the light, if you will, between my plants, and it's working out fine that way because really they don't need to have that intense light every day. And we're going to talk about the lighting for this particular plant in just a moment, but I wanted to give you an overall view of where she's sitting, and you'll notice there's a lot of plants around her, which does help to increase the humidity. So keep that in mind, and I'll be back in a moment and we will do the propagation. Alrighty, and I am back. Okay, what I want to do today is just a quick video on propagating this plant. But before I get to that, I want to just talk about it a little bit and let you know how to take care of it. Starting with the humidity. And let's just pause a moment and discuss that term. The internet says it needs high humidity. One of the problems I have with that verbiage is that when you say high, that is relative to where you are, where you live, and so on. So for me, high humidity is 70–80%, whereas with someone who lives in a drier climate like maybe Arkansas or Arizona, high humidity to them might be 50%. I don't know. But for the purposes of this video on this plant, I'm going to assume that they mean upwards of 50%. Now, we live about, I don't know, 200, maybe 250 feet from the lake shore edge. So we have high humidity here all the time. When I'm talking to someone, if my mom would call and say it's a beautiful day today, I'd say, yeah, it's a little humid. And she'd say, what, there's no humidity? Well, she lives in a different area, and it probably isn't humid by her. But it's humid here almost all of the time. So therefore my home is humid. We also have a lot of plants in my house. I've got about 300 plants. So that in itself creates humidity. I also have a first floor laundry room, which also creates humidity. So I don't have a humidity problem in my house, but I'm thinking this wants even more than what I can provide for it, as far as its optimal health. Now you can see here the coloring on this leaf, the variegation. It's so frustrating because I don't have it on any of these other leaves, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. This plant is actually, the name of it is Ctenanthe Lubbersiana, or Lubbersiana. And I'll put the name on the screen so that you can research it if you care to. I did have something going on here with this plant too that I'm not sure what it was. It was a little sticky substance, and all the research I've ever done on that tells me things that I know that that is not what it was. So I don't know. I did treat it. I treated it with my Jack's Dead Bug spray, and I always put that bonite granules in the soil. So hopefully whatever was wrong is gone. Now, I haven't seen any kind of pests on this plant, live pests. I haven't seen any, you know, mealybugs or... And these are known for, if they're going to get a pest, mealybugs and spider mites, they like this plant. But I haven't had that issue yet. Now, getting back to the humidity, I do have this plant, as you saw in the beginning of the video, in and amongst a lot of other plants. So therefore they're getting a lot of humidity just, you know, from the other plants. Whenever you group plants together, it creates a humid atmosphere all on its own. So that is what I'm pretty sure this plant liked. And the reason I say that is, if you will look back on my older videos, you'll see, I think this was just like 1 or 2 small stems I started out with. And she's growing like crazy since I moved her. I did 3 cuttings on her and put them right back in the soil, and they did fantastic. So I'm going to do that again today, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. The other thing that I wanted to say about it is the lighting. The leaves on this plant, this is not a plant for a beginner. Let me just put that out there for you guys. Unless you're happy with the way it looks, then I guess, you know, it's not a big deal. But I am not happy with this at all. There's no variegation on here at all. And that is what really makes this plant so beautiful to me, in my eyes. So I'm going to probably move her again. I moved her from, I had her under my Hydrolite, Mars Hydrolite, and that helped her to produce more, and it caused allowed my cuttings to root wonderfully, but I lost my variegation. So I think it was too bright. And what you'll find is if it's in too bright a light, you will lose the variegation. If it's not in a bright enough light, you will lose the variegation. So that's what makes it very difficult. It's hard to know what that perfect lighting is, and of course that changes throughout the year, at least in Wisconsin. So I don't know, folks. I'm still struggling to find the perfect spot for her, but what I did notice is since I put her in that area that I showed you at the beginning of the video, her leaves have gotten like twice the size, and she's growing like crazy. She's got another new shoot coming out here and out here. New shoots everywhere because I put her in a closer to a, I wouldn't say it's brighter, but it's closer to the light itself. So I'm not sure what to say about that. At this point, I think I'm just going to continue to try to get her as full in the pot as I can because I want a big, full, lush plant. Okay, so let's just do that real quick here. And, whoa, sorry about that. And what you want to do is you want to cut it above the, you see where these, I'm hesitating because I'm still feeling stickiness on this plant. I have to wash this. I'm going to wash it and spray it when I'm done until I figure out what's going on here. Okay, so right here where this node is, we want to cut below that. So we've got these 3 leaves coming out here. You want to go down to that first node and then cut below that, and that's what we're going to do right now. And that is going to go in the soil. That node has to go into the soil. That is a mistake I made early on when I had this plant and I was trying to get it fuller. I was afraid to put that down in there because I thought it was going to rot from here to here. But it didn't. It needs to be in there in order to root, in fact. So that's an important thing about this propagation. And you know, it just dawned on me, we had a carpenter ant problem going on here for a while. And I wonder if that has something to do with that stickiness on here. I don't know, but it's on this plant. Okay, that's one. Oh, I thought I had another one here, but I don't. Oh yeah, I do right here. Okay. I want you guys to see that. Here's a node. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to probably have to, maybe not. I don't really want to sacrifice it. No, I think I can do it without sacrificing the leaf. So I'm going to gently pull this leaf away from this stem because I need to get this node and then part of the stem to put in the soil. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that away and hopefully dirt in my fingernails. I always have dirt in my fingernails. Am I digging around in my plants? Okay. And I don't want this, I don't want to sacrifice this leaf. What I'm doing here is I'm pulling these leaves away from the stem to keep from cutting them. I hope you guys can see that. No. Yeah, that wasn't cool. I accidentally cut this one and there's no node here. This is not going to root. But that's okay. Not sure how I did that, but I gotta find a spot here. I think right here. Maybe right here. They do like their soil to be kept evenly moist. And for those of you that don't know what that means, it does not mean wet. It means moist. And in most cases you can let it dry out a little bit on the top. Maybe an inch or so down. Okay. But don't let this dry out. A lot of this is related to the calathea and the Marantacea family. I'm just cutting off this dried edge, and for those of you that don't know me, it's not so much that I don't like the sight of it, although it is, you know, it takes away from the plant. I'm not that fussy. I want to be able to see if I'm getting new brown edges, because that'll tell me that I got to pay attention, something's off. Okay, so that's my reason for cutting this off. And make sure that you have a sterile scissors when you do this, or clippers, because you can introduce bacteria into your leaves. So if you have bacteria on this from a problem from another plant or something, you want to make sure that you clean this before you do that. Okay. Another one. Now I'm going to keep a close eye on her for a while and see if I get any more brown tips. And also, I'm going to wash her really good, each leaf, and that's going to take me a little while, so I'm not going to do that on camera. But I just wanted you to see how these are propagated, because I did not do it correctly the first time when I first got this plant. I cut it and I stuck it in the soil, but there was no node. I just, oh, and I have a node here. I can do this one. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull this away. Hopefully you can see. I just pulled these leaves apart. And I have a node here. Pull this leaf away. And cut. So. You see the node? That's got to go in the soil. And this is probably going to be it for cuttings for this, because I think she's going to need to be repotted in spring. Hopefully not before that. And this plant likes to be repotted no more than once a year. She doesn't like to be repotted, and when you do repot it, it's really important to use some of the original soil that it was in. It just does not like new conditions. So it's best to when you repot this, to use some of the old soil around the roots, and then the rest it should be okay. And then don't feed it. They really don't like fertilizer, although they have to have fertilizer. You don't want to do that too often, and you definitely don't want to do it after you repot it. So, that's it. I hope this helped someone. I look forward to hearing from y'all. I know you all are busy, and I know there's a lot going on in the world. I'm trying so hard to find happiness in my day, and this brings me happiness. So, I hope it will do the same for you. And if you have questions, as always, you can leave them in the comments section. And if you have, helpful hints, we like that too. So don't be afraid to leave a comment, okay? And again, this is the Ctenanthe. I'll put that on the screen so you'll know how to spell it. This is also closely related to the tricolor Ctenanthe. So there's quite a bit of information, I think, on the internet about her. And she's not readily available in many stores. She's kind of hard to get, hard to find. So hopefully you'll be able to get your hands on one. And like I said, they do multiply easily, so you'll be able to make a nice full plant for yourself. All right, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday night, and if I don't get to you before then, a great Sunday, and we'll be back soon, okay? Thanks for coming. Bye now.